On September the 16th, 1970, Cardiff amassed their highest win in European competition, beating the Cypriot side PO Larnaca 8-0 at Ninian Park. Amongst the scorers was the reliable Mel Sutton, one of the unsung heroes from City's good years of the late 60s and early 70s. And there was one from Bobby Woodruff, a skillful midfielder signed from Crystal Palace in November 1969. In the next round, French team FC Nantes suffered a similar fate when they went down 5-1. Woodruff's massive throw-ins were a feature of City's attacks in those days. Ian Gibson didn't score many goals for the Bluebirds, but he certainly made sure on this occasion. The quarter-final brought a much sought-after encounter when, on the 10th of March, Real Madrid came to Ninian Park. Toshak had by now left for Anfield, and the revamped lineup included 17-year-old winger Nigel Rees.
We were lucky enough to be drawn against them first leg at Ninian Park. Everybody looked forward to it. Wonderful atmosphere here. Had to get to Ninian Park early in the afternoon, 4 o'clock to miss all the traffic, 50,000 people. And we went out. First half we kicked into the Canton end. And wonderful build-up. In fact, it was this end that I scored the goal. Good build-up, Bobby Woodruff, Gary Bell involved, deep in our own half on the left-hand side, out to Nigel Rees, who wasn't a regular in the side at the time, but was selected for the game in front of Ronnie Bird, and he played. Good ball down the wing, and the ball was knocked in with Nigel's left foot. I don't think he used his right foot, but he knocked it in with his left foot, and I was lucky enough to pinch a yard on the centre half and score with a goal I should never ever forget, into the left-hand side of the goalkeeper.
Carver in the nick of time. Ryan Clark and Zoko forced to pass back to Burhan. Number 6, Zoko. Good play by Woodruff. Good ball to Rees. Rees crowded up, but getting away with it. This is dangerous. Clark! Yes! Ryan Clark! I'm absolutely deafened by this huge crowd. Cardiff City in the lead by 1-0. The scorer Brian Clark, but the goal made by Nigel Rees, and what a goal it was. What a perfect goal by Brian Clark. The start of it, Woodruff to Nigel Rees, and that great header.
Wonderful, wonderful night. I don't think I went to sleep that night. Couldn't wait for the early morning papers, and a really wonderful couple of days. In fact, I think we went to Blackburn the following Saturday, and they gave us a wonderful reception. We ran out onto the pitch because they couldn't take it away from us. We were the side that beat Real Madrid in the European Cup Winners' Cup, first leg, quarter-final. Second leg, we went back to the Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid 2 weeks later. Wonderful reception when we got to the airport. They took photographs, obviously, and made us feel very, very welcome. Stopped in a very nice hotel. Went to the stadium on the Tuesday and trained. Jimmy Scudder put us through a big training session on the Tuesday, much to the amazement of the Spanish supporters and players who were watching. And we went out, and 0-0 half-time. Peter King might have pinched one. They marked us very tight over there. But unfortunately, second half, they scored 2 goals. So the dream was over. But they couldn't take away the victory at Ninian Park, which, as far as I'm concerned, will always remain with me as the highlight of my sort of professional career.
Cardiff had their first penalty shootout experience when they lost to Dynamo Berlin the following season, both teams unable to settle the matter after 2 1-1 draws.
And this is a test of a professional. of all people, the captain of the side. Needless to say, if Dynamo convert all their penalties, Cardiff are out. And it's all on this penalty kick, whether the Cardiff go through or stay out of the competition. It's in, Dynamo are through.
Don Murray put one over the top of the Grangetown end. At least he was brave enough to put his hand up and say, I'll take the penalty, Jim, or in the extra time. So okay, these things happen. 9 times out of 10 he would have scored.
After 3 years of near promotion, it was relegation that City strived to avoid in the 71-72 campaign. They finished 19th in the league. The highlight of that season was a 5th-round FA Cup tie with Leeds United. 50,000 turned up at Ninian Park for the match, but despite a brave challenge by City, Leeds eventually won 2-0. Don Ravi's side were at the height of their powers, and it was Peter Lorimer's corner which set up the first of both goals from Johnny Giles in their 2-0 win. Once again, it was relegation that nearly visited Cardiff in the 1972-73 season, with only 43 league goals, the lowest since 1929. A relegation dogfight was witnessed in April when Huddersfield Town visited Ninian Park, City the eventual winners by 4-1. In those days of struggle, there was no one more committed to City's cause than number 2 Phil Dwyer, who went on to make a record number of appearances for the club. But all too often there was action at the wrong end, and as far as City's fans were concerned, the club was constantly near the relegation zone. There was, though, the talent of winger Willie Anderson, whose skillful play provided a ray of hope for the long-suffering Ninian Park faithful, and there were finishers like Gil Rees, signed from Sheffield United in October 1972, but who'd originally been released by the Bluebirds in the early 60s. Big Andy McCulloch from Queen's Park Rangers was another deadly finisher, but not often enough to keep City away from the danger end of the table, though the Anderson-Rees combination continued to cause opponents problems. On November the 9th, 1973, Jimmy Schooler was sacked after 9 years of service. His replacement, former Leicester City and Manchester United manager Frank O'Farrell, lasted just 6 months before leaving relegation-struggling Bluebirds for the Middle East. Jimmy Andrews filled a hot seat as they entered their final game of the season, and they gained a point against Crystal Palace to avoid the drop. The following season, City finished 21st and were back in the 3rd Division for the first time since 1947, having scored only 36 league goals. Their visit to Division 3 was only temporary. The Bluebirds were immediately promoted, only to fight further relegation battles in the next 2 years. City fared better in the FA Cup when on January the 8th, 1977, they claimed a famous victory over Tottenham Hotspur. In the 4th round, they met old rivals Wrexham in one of the most exciting matches staged at Ninian Park. The final result was 3-2, with the decider scored in injury time.
Only his first full senior game in the cup tie against Spurs. Roberts intercepts, and a bad back pass to Sayer! Yes! Peter Sayer has done it again, number 10. He scored the goal that beat First Division Spurs. Well, what a cup tie. Buchanan, he scored! Can change.
For the 5th round, Ninian Park was again the venue for the visit of Everton. But following a bright start when City took the lead after 10 minutes, Everton struck back twice to win. After a 6-week layoff due to bad weather in the winter of 1979, Cardiff, who seemed relegation-bound, turned their fortunes around to finish in 9th place. It was their highest position since 1971.